Well, after a challenging year, Christmas could be coming early for millions of British Columbians. On Friday, eligible residents will be able to start applying for the BC Recovery Benefit, a one-time tax-free payment worth up to $1,000. Joining us now to discuss this more is Peter Shisekki from Everything Financial. Good morning, Peter. Good to see you.
Nice to see you, Carrie. Good morning.
So this could make a really big difference to some families right before the holidays.
It could. I mean, it's a benefit. I mean, me and my being a bit of cynicism, it's an election promise that came through, and it came through pretty quick, where you can get $500 as a single person, $1,000 for a family, and that could be big for people this time of year who really need it.
Yeah, a lot of bills to pay, and people are in a difficult financial circumstance.
Absolutely.
Maybe give us a sense of who is eligible for this payment. It does depend on how much money you make.
Well, how much money you make, and I'll go with the easy part first, actually. If you make under $65,000 or made under $65,000 net income as a single person, you're entitled to the $500, and it's roughly $125,000 net family income for the $1,000. And what happens is, as your net income goes above that, it gets watered down. So it would be less and less to eventually disappearing for the single person, and eventually disappearing also for the family unit as your net income gets higher and higher. So it does get downgraded as your income would be higher.
And also important to note, Peter, this is based off of someone's income for 2019, so that higher income earners who lost their jobs during the pandemic won't qualify.
That's right. But here's another thing too, and you have to remember this, and I think this is important at this time of year, after we just got over some charity things that Bell did with the toy drive and whatnot. With about 80% of the people aren't affected income-wise to 90% of the public isn't affected income-wise by the pandemic. That's a good thing, but we got to remember those 10% or so that are really adversely affected. So even though a lot of people, and I've heard this from a lot of people, well, we don't really need it, so we're not going to apply for it. Well, remember, this is not taxable. So you're not paying tax on this money, and I'm reluctant to use the phrase tax-free because nothing's free. We're all going to have to pay for it in the end. So guess what? If the government's willing to give away this money, everyone who can qualify should apply for this money. And if you truly don't need it, give it to someone. Give it to your local food bank. Give it to charity. Go to your local church and find a family to sponsor. But you know what? Make some good happen from this amazing, crappy year, really with everything that's gone on. Take this money, give it away, and put a smile on another family's face who have been really affected by this pandemic.
That is a really thoughtful thing to suggest, and I think a lot of people would be willing to do that, to donate and give it to local charities or people that they know, and maybe just buy a gift for someone in need. Absolutely. People who maybe are thinking about putting that money aside into their rainy day fund, what do you encourage them to do in that regard?
Put it into your TFSA. I mean, a lot of those people, we've talked about this many times on this show about people collecting the CERB and are in for a shock when tax time comes and they're going to have to pay, 20-25% of that CERB money back in taxes. Well, this may be your opportunity to say, hey, I'll put this money into a TFSA, I'll leave it there, let it grow, and when tax time comes next year, at least I have some of that money to pay my tax bill from the CERB or anything else for that matter, so that you're not going backwards after this year of the pandemic. We can look forward to brighter days ahead in 2021. Vaccines on the horizon, booms in the economy because of that, because people have a lot of money saved up that they're ready to spend. Well, this is the opportunity to spend some of that for someone else during the holiday season and be ready for 2021.
Yeah, Peter Shisekki with Everything Financial. Thank you so much for joining us. Great advice as always this morning, Peter. And I may not see you because I'm going on holiday, so happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays to you and your family, and we'll see you in the new year.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Peter.